So this is a bit of a different video today, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about a video I saw. So it's on YouTube. It's called Earthlings. So, you know, the name made me think, oh, like Earthlings, like, you know, like, you don't really think of it like that. Like on the planet, you go, oh, humankind, but it's not. The planet belongs to every living thing on, you know, that was born here. You know, what makes humans any better? And I believe that is a term called speciesism. If you think you are better than animals because you're human. So Earthlings is basically a video showing you, oh my god, everything. I didn't know these things happened, right? Like I know that, you know, what happens in the meat industry and the milk industry and the egg industry and the honey industry, like all of that, I already knew that was bad. Like I'd already learned about that. But then you think about every other process that's in it. So, I mean, not only have you got the food industry, but then you've also got the clothing industry. And I thought, clothing? But what kind of clothing? But obviously they're talking about fur, right? And even like sheep shearing. Like I originally thought, I don't know if you think this, but I thought this. So I originally thought that you get a sheep and you shear its wool and then you let it go off and live a happy life and grow its wool back, and the next year you harvest the wool again. But someone recently told me that that's not what happens, and that when they shear the sheep, they then slaughter the sheep. And I was like, what's the point in that? And they're like, well, because there's more money in it. You know, you got to shear it to the sheep. Oh, that's horrible, isn't it? Oh. Like, that's what they do to a lot of animals, just like, cut them across the throat. I mean, could you imagine that way of dying? But it's like the clothing industry. Oh my god. There's like videos of animals being skinned alive. Skinned alive. Why would they do that? You know, and the thing is like, I looked at it, I was like, it's still alive. Is there anything we could do to help it? But once you've skinned it, it's like already bleeding to death. Like watching foxes and dogs and animals skinned, and like the looks in their eye, which is just like, why? But not only that, so like there's also science, like animal testing for medicine, for cosmetics, for things like toothpaste. Like what? I was like, there's so much in the science part. I was absolutely horrified. Like simulating car accidents on primate animals like monkeys and chimpanzees and baboons. I think the video in Earthlings was a baboon, and like they get its head in this thing like this laying down. I think they've sedated it or something so it doesn't move about, and it's all tied up. Like it looks like something out of a horror movie. Literally the whole thing looks like a horror movie. But basically it's like gets its head in this like metal box that juts up at like the right amount of speed and the right angle to not kill it, but to give it either a concussion or like break its neck in a way so they can have it paralyzed, so they can see if there's anything they can do to help people. But at the same time, like, why don't they, I don't know why they just don't test on people. Like, you know, you could pay a lot of money to people and test on them instead. I guess people don't want to be tested on, but neither do animals, you know. Like, if you could see this stuff, you know, I was like full on like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat any animal products, dairy or eggs or any fish or anything. I was like, no, I won't. But then you realize they put animal products in everyday things. Like, what was it? I was just trying to look for makeup removers, and like they're all tested on animals. I'm like, what? So I did find one, but it's really hard for me to buy. It's like not in my normal shops. It's like organic, not tested on animals. Like, I don't know, face wipes. But I'm getting off point. I'll try to think of all the categories. Oh my god. Entertainment. Animals for entertainment. And it shows you how they try to convince people that they do it on a reward basis. No. It's really not. Especially the circus. Like, I'd never been to a circus, and I always wanted to go to see the elephants and stuff. I mean, I've seen elephants in real life, but you know, seeing them like in a circus, like on the video, like you see that they treat them horribly. like terribly. Like they had some kind of stick with a hook on it, and they'd do it into their ankles and pull, and and you'd hear, like, you'd never, you can't imagine the noise of an elephant in pain. It was something I never thought I'd hear. Like, it's such a horrible noise. Like, all the animals, even like lions and tigers, when you see them being beaten by people, it's like, what, they think they're better than the lions and tigers. And then you also see one of the elephants try to escape, and I saw this was on Facebook a few years ago, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, that's so sad. But when you see the whole story of how it's beating them, and it does performances, making people ride on the elephant, and the elephant decides that no, it wants out, and it like managed to smash its way out of the circus, and it gets onto the road, and it's just trying to run away, and then the police come and they shoot it like 50 times, and you can see it's in agony, and like all the alarms are ringing, and I just think that's the worst way that elephant could have gone. Like, why couldn't they have tranquilized it and let it back into the wild? Like, why don't they get animals that clearly don't want to be there and just put them back in the wild, you know? But instead they just kill it. For what reason? For what purpose? I mean, I was watching some videos and like, I know people probably don't care about pigs, right? But it is sad, and you see pigs and they are so intelligent, and they are actually really sweet when they're not covered in injuries and tumours and everything. When they are like happy pigs, they are so intelligent and so sweet. But like, there was like some truckload of live pigs. I think this was an organic farm as well, so this is what made it so disgusting. Because when I was buying meat before, I thought, oh, I'll get organic because at least it's like treated nicely and it's live. But no, so the truck full of pigs, like, I don't know, tips over, and all, you can hear it on the video, like all the pigs inside, they're screaming with pain because they've all been thrown against the side. Like, some of them are walking out like limping and stuff, and then all the rest that can't get up. So did you know that for meat to be organic, right, so this sounds disgusting, right, but for meat to be organic, especially pigs, they must be able to walk to their own death. What the fuck? You know, and all these animals that couldn't walk, keep in mind there was protesters, activists there, you know, saying, look, we will take these animals, we will take them to sanctuary, and we will look after them, like, you know, don't worry about it. And the company, you know, they can't make any money off of these pigs because it's technically not organic, and they can't even send it to another one because apparently this is not done. So they basically, all these injured pigs, they just shoot them in the head, all of them. And like, there's one that managed to escape, and it was limping and it was running away, and all the activists was like, please, and then they just shoot it in the head. Oh, Marnie hit the screen. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like this story. She's like, no, give me piggy. But no. I mean, that's another thing, like, people say, like, can you be vegan if you have pet animals that eat meat? And, you know, it is a really hard dilemma, but, you know, we don't need meat to live. Cats do need meat. Cats need meat to live. Dogs apparently can live a partially vegan lifestyle and still be healthy. And I've seen quite a lot of videos showing like quite healthy looking dogs. But apparently cats, and I wouldn't enforce that upon my cats either, like, because they are animals. I mean, if you had free wild cats, I mean, they'll go catch their own food anyway, like mice and squirrels and all of this stuff. So that's different. But when we are humans and we're mass producing animals for food, that's when things get disgusting. I mean, you're not going to see cats out like getting hundreds of thousands of animals like being slaughtered every day to make their food, and you know, they're not extremely gluttonous. I mean, one can of wet food like lasts all three of my cats all day, and some of you might think that's abusive, but literally that is all they want. And like, besides that, they just want their biscuits. And like, really, I looked at the ingredients of the biscuits and there's not really animal products in it. I mean, there's a few like vitamins and stuff which come from animal products, but it's not like contains meat. It actually contains vegetables, so cats clearly do need some kind of vegetables. I do notice, like, since I stopped eating like meat and stuff, they're kind of like protesting. I don't know, they're like, no, I don't want this wet food, give me more biscuits, meow meow meow. I don't understand it, you know. But I mean, I would never deprive my cats of of meat, or being free to catch their own meat if I was depriving them of meat. But obviously, like, you know, there is still a mass production behind that, but so much less. I mean, the amount of meat that's in one tin isn't even as much meat as one human eats for one meal. I mean, maybe if you had, like, you know, sliced meats. And that's kind of where I started, because I thought, oh, if I have sliced meats, then it's such a small amount of the animal that, you know, if everyone had sliced meats, then it wouldn't be that bad. But in actuality, like, you still need the production of that. And if everyone did that, obviously there'd be less meat production. Obviously everyone would get a lot more sick because there's so many preservatives and things in that. But yeah, basically, getting back to earthlings, if you don't know about, like, literally, it's so hard to say the things that they were doing to the animals. Like, it makes me feel sick, so sick. Like the one with the cow, where they're electrocuting it and it's like pinned up by its leg and going through this thing, and it's all alive and it's like been bleeding through the neck. Like, I think, and then, like, what is it? They put it in this machine that keeps flipping it over, like electrocuting it. It's all alive during this, still with its slit neck, and they throw it on the floor, and then they start electrocuting it more. It's bleeding out. And do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? This is halal and kosher meat. The most tortured, in my opinion, bled to death while still alive. Like, how? Like, who gives a shit about what you're eating? Fuck you, people who want halal. Like, I can understand that's like a religion, but how could you torture a living being just because you want your meat to taste a certain way? It's disgusting. And the people who work in these places, they are mentally deranged. Like, who would go and kill innocent living beings every single day? And you see it in these videos, they're just laughing, they're beating them, they're smacking them, they're proper torturing them. Like, oh, what was it, the chickens, they were getting the chickens out the thing and throwing them against the wall, like smash, and like, I think they broke their wings before, so they couldn't flutter away, and then, you know, they're slightly, you know, twitching all on the floor, and then they just start jumping on them. Like, that's your freaking food, man. And, like, you know, this is what they've done to it. And, like, I also did, like, some research into, like, basically the state that the animal is in when it is killed will add, like, oh, I can't remember the words, like chemicals that go through the muscles and the veins, which is like a shock, and it sends out these toxic kind of chemicals. And when that's in your food, like, it stays in your food, it doesn't relax and go, everything's fine because I'm dead. Like, that meat will have that in it. And do you know, I hear some vegans saying, like, when you stop putting death into your body, you feel so alive. And I must say I do. Like, I feel so alive. Like, you know, a couple of years ago, you'd never have heard me getting up at 8 o'clock every morning. I would be like, what? But no, I'm so alive and full of energy, like, and, you know, able to absorb all this information. Obviously not that well, because I'm not quoting, like, chemicals and stuff properly, but, I mean, there's just so much of an overload at the moment. I'm just trying to do anything I can to understand it more. So that's the thing. I'm not telling you, I'm not going, become vegan, become vegetarian, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's all about learning for yourself and seeing what is happening in the real world. You gotta remember, these videos, it's not propaganda. They're not putting on a show for some documentary or anything. This is real, everyday treatment of animals in the industry, medical, food industry, clothing industry, makeup industry, entertainment industry, science, everything. Like, I think I already said science, but basically, like, this happens every single day, and then some. Like, I don't know, like, because obviously, like, this is just the industry, but, like, then people obviously don't always treat their animals very nicely or feed them or anything. Like, there's been a lot of animal abuse in homes, and you think just how much people get in trouble for animal abuse in their homes. If you saw what they do in the food industry to animals, I don't think you'd want that meat. If you saw what happened to that meat before, I don't think you'd want it. I mean, growing up, literally, I thought, in my mind, I have no idea why, but in my mind, I thought, farmers have animals, they let the animals breed constantly with each other to make lots more animals, and they just feed them, And basically, when they die naturally, I thought that's when they're processed for meat. But actually, I don't know. There might be a picture. If I can put it up, I'll be like, woo. But they kill animals so early. Like, the animals could have had much longer lives. And I think that's what makes it really awful, is because their life was taken away from them way before than it would have normally been. And then you think about like dairy and eggs, like you think that's innocent, like dairy especially. Like I thought cows always needed milking. Like female cows, knew it was female, but apparently because all mammals produce milk when they are nursing a baby animal of their own. I know there have been cases of animals nursing for other animals, but when they are full of milk, that is because they were impregnated. And what happens is that they get them pregnant and they milk them as soon as the milk starts coming. And when the calf is born, they take it away within the first, I think, 6 hours or something. And then it literally goes to become veal. Unless it's a girl cow, then they keep it for the dairy industry. Like, I can't believe that. They freshly born, let's make it into meat. Like, that's horrible. And the thing is, yeah, you think animals don't have feelings and emotions? You should see the looks on these mother cows' faces when their baby is taken away, and they cry, and it almost sounds like they're saying human words. Like, they're really trying. It's like, at least to me, it almost sounds like they're trying to say human words, like why. Like, that's all I can hear and see in their eyes is why. And it's horrible. And I feel, you know, knowing all of this, I feel weak, defenseless, because there are more people that approve of this than that don't. I mean, I recently looked up the statistics. So all my life, I thought like roughly it was half and half vegetarian, vegan, and meat eaters. But no, I was so way wrong, way off, right? Because out of interest, you know, I thought I'd better see what percentage of people are vegan and vegetarian. So America, keep in mind, America is huge, absolutely huge, and there is a lot of spiritually minded people in America. 3%, or at least that's what it says on Google at the moment. 3% of America is vegetarian or vegan, so that's not even all vegan. So there's still a lot of that percentage having dairy and eggs, which is obviously still contributing to horrible things. So England, where I'm from, England, is actually higher than America, considering we're a lot smaller, like a lot smaller. It's 5.8% of England is vegetarian and vegan. Like, you go, wow, that's 2.8% more. But no, you're not seeing the bigger picture. This is still 5.8% out of 100%, you know? So, like, I don't know, let's say there's 100 people, only 5.8 of them is not eating the meat. That's still like, I don't know, 94.2% of them still like embracing all of that horrible cruelty and everything. I guess, I don't know, the 0.2 and 0.8 is just like one person who's mostly vegan, vegetarian, but like, I don't know, they went over and had like a bit of bacon. But I know that's a really weird analogy that probably didn't work, but I was just trying to make a point. Anyway, if you think you can take it, go watch Earthlings. Search bar up there. Unless this is Facebook, then you have to go to YouTube and type it in yourself. I mean, it's not that hard to remember. Earthlings. It's what we are, it's what animals are, it's what every creature is. We are Earthlings. You know, if aliens ever come, have you ever seen alien movies? They always refer to us as Earthlings. They don't go, humans, we are talking to you, go, Earthlings, we are talking to you. It's like, because they're talking to everyone of the Earth. But if you think you can make it through, because it's an hour and a half long, so it's very long. I cried for like 3+ hours during and then after, and literally, I couldn't believe the things I saw. Like, I thought I knew it all. And people, I'm telling people about like what I've seen. They're like, oh yeah, I know, I've seen things like that. I'm like, no, you haven't. Like, you need to see everything. Like, there's a lot of people who don't, you know, they think, oh, I've seen one thing, and that they kind of got over it, and that they don't want to see anymore, so they're just going to ignore the problem and continue eating meat and dairy, you know. And, you know, you have to see every aspect of it, like beef, chicken, pork, lamb. Well, it's not even the way you should think about it. It's cows and sheep and baby lambs and calves, pigs, piglets. Oh god, they just killed piglets, like, oh, and they get so sick, and there's so much terrible stuff. Really terrible. Like, oh god, I'm already on 20 minutes. I haven't even broken the surface of what I've seen, what is going on. You know, I'm not enforcing my viewpoint upon you, and if you've got this far, well done, because you're obviously interested in this, and you're probably maybe even considering it yourself, or you're just interested in seeing how many fails I can make in a video, or maybe you're not even listening. But if you've gotten this far, just try and do a little bit of research for yourself. You know, even just go on YouTube, reasons to become vegan, or you know, watch vegan documentaries. I typed in vegan documentaries a couple of weeks ago, and I just watched all of them. Actually, what started this for me was actually a raw food diet documentary, and I thought, like, seeing how healthy these people were from not eating meat or dairy. Obviously, I don't eat raw. I mostly eat raw. Like, I'd say 90% of what I eat is raw food, and then like 10% I like cook my pastas and rice and things and potatoes, because, you know, I'm not gonna leave everything out. And then maybe if I become truly hardcore, I'll try raw till 4 or whatever it's called. Like, but at the moment I'm just happy being vegan. And, you know, there's so many options, vegan options, vegetarian options. Like, if you like meat, if you like the way meat tastes, if you like a burger or a hot dog or anything, there is alternatives to that, right? And literally, it's so funny. Like, you can go on the internet now, if you don't believe me, and see, like, vegan versus meat taste tests or whatever, or blind tests, or I don't know, there's so many of them. And quite a lot of the time, especially like younger people, will say that they like the taste of the vegan one without knowing it's vegan more, but when they find out it is vegan, they're like, well, I still like the taste of it more. But obviously there are some things that they're like, no, it's horrible, and other people are like, yeah, I love it. But it's just down to the person. Like, we all have different tastes, you know. For instance, I hate coriander. My partner hates freaking tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I don't know if he likes coriander. I highly doubt it. But, like, I'm not very picky, but coriander is like, bleh. Or like, I don't know. Just think for yourselves, guys. Like, do you want to contribute to the pain and suffering of animals? Like, yeah, you're hungry. Do you know why people really want meat? See, this is what I found from becoming vegetarian and vegan, because I started eating all the time. I was always so hungry. I like want to eat so much. Like, and you know, I just think, well, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, eating loads and loads and loads, because you know, it's all like healthy food, and even if I get a bit chubby, at least I know I'm not being gluttonous in a way that's hurting animals, you know. But I actually find that I've maintained a very healthy weight. I look so healthy, especially from eating more and more. Like, it does cost me a bit more to like buy that much food, but I feel amazing, like so much more healthy than I felt in ever in my life. I feel more healthy now than I have ever done, and that's amazing, really, because, you know, I'm 22. I've had so many years of being so ill, but yeah, feeling great. If you guys are interested, you know, go onto the Vegan Society, Vegetarian Society, Anonymous for the Voiceless videos on the internet. You know, they can explain it better than me, but I was just giving a little bit of insight as to Earthlings. You should definitely watch that. I must say, it is one of the worst, most graphic documentaries I've ever seen, and it's full of so much information. And, you know, checking the sources of this like information, they are not wrong, they're not lying, they're not making it up, because sometimes I think you should check your sources just to make sure. but they're not lying. It's all true and it's all happening. And I realised while watching this documentary that I've never seen the same footage of an animal being mistreated twice. Never. And that makes you wonder, really, because it's just so common. And obviously you're not allowed to film in these places, so when people are filming, they got to do it all like secretively, and there's so much of it, so there's a lot of people who clearly think there's something wrong going on, and it's definitely something you guys should look at. And I know you don't want to look, but if you're not brave enough to look, then why should you be eating the corpses of these animals, or even the byproducts that come out of them? And even if it's not that, like sweeties and gelatin, right? When I was in school, people told me like gelatin was animal bones, and I went, no, not having Haribo anymore, because that was the worst one. Everyone knew that had gelatin in it. Obviously, there's a lot of chewy sweeties that have gelatin, and we were told it's bone marrow from animals, and it's not. Do you know? It's so much more disgusting, and it makes so much more sense when you think about it. Chewy sweets, right? Gelatin, right? It's not bone marrow. It's something called connective tissue, like all those white bits of like maybe you have some meat, right? You have some meat and you get that chewy bit of what is known as gristle. You know, that word that they generically use on every bit of something hard in your food that you don't really want to eat. It could be bones, it could be teeth, it could be like some kind of connective tissue, it could be tendons, it could be things that's just not, you know, veins. I've had lots of times where I've like eaten a piece of meat and found a vein, and like, you know, when it's cooked the vein goes pretty hard and it's like, oh, and you pull it out and you're like, it's a vein. Like, that's disgusting, eating veins and blah blah. So yes, guys, research this for yourself. You know, don't have a go at me because you guys don't want to realize that it's horrible. You know, I'm just sharing my opinion. My opinion might not always be right, but I think when you see it and you think that this could be prevented by not buying it, like, and you think, oh, one person doesn't make a difference. One person makes a hell of a lot of a difference, like, really, because one person, another person, like 3 people, like, for instance, since I became vegan, I have 3 friends who have now dedicated their life to also doing this, and I'm so proud of them, like, so happy to know that other people, especially people I know, have felt impacted that they should do something. And, you know, and I already had loads of friends who were vegetarian and vegan, and I'm so proud of them as well, because they realized it before me. They realized it, and yet, you know, some people aren't really vocal about what they're doing. And, you know, when I'm out in public with my friends, I'm not really like, yeah, eat this, eat that. I did say to my friend once, like, oh my god, you can't have a latte that's got milk in it. But I'm sorry, Rebecca, but it's fine. I was just a bit shocked. It's like, no milk. But yes, basically, make your own decisions. Be strong. Be humane, right? Humane. It's not human, but humane. See what is going on and decide for yourself. You can't decide for yourself when everything is in pretty plastic packaging, pre-cut and everything. Like, you can only make that decision when you see a corpse being desecrated and everything. Like, I think it's so disgusting. It is horrible. Like, I don't know if it's just that I'm really empathetic, but when I watch these videos, I don't see animals like you might be thinking of animals. I see humans. I see beings. I see people. That's the best way to explain it. You know, we are humans, and they are different breeds of animals, and we are animals. We are human animals. They are whatever breed of animal they are. But we are all people, right? We are all people. We are all persons. We have a personality. We have a person of our body as our person, right? What determines that an animal doesn't have the right to be a person? You know, because yet again, that's coming back to speciesism, right? I might not be right, but I'm pretty sure I can call an animal a person. You can't call an animal human, but you can be humane to animals. Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening. Half an hour. God, that's long.